Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to check out Card Party in Seattle. So this happened about a month ago. It's my first card party ever, but as a sort of Canadian Pokemon card collector, I was stoked to go to my first international convention. So this was at the Seattle Convention Center, and you guys can see it's humongous. The venue is quite nice. You can see the open floor layout here. A little overwhelming. I'm used to the smaller shows here in Vancouver, but right as we go in, we see Pokemon Network. I always see these guys on my Instagram reel feeds, so it was definitely really cool to see all these, like I guess, vintage product in person. Definitely eye-opening. I've never seen this many packs or vintage packs in my life, so really cool to see. This table also had a bunch of grails, PSA 10s, CGC Pristine 10s. You guys can see here, a lot of very, very, very expensive cards. What did catch my eye, obviously, some of those EX cards you see here. There's a Blastoise EX. There's some Shining cards. Of course, they got a bunch of modern Pokemon cards as well, but it seems like, these guys are cream of the crop type of vendor. They only sell PSA 10s or these rare Pokemon booster boxes or packs. You see in the back, they even got this 1.5 mil legendary collection sealed case. Something you definitely don't see every day. So really cool to actually come here and see it. Again, feels like a museum. But yeah, moving on to the next vendor. This was Poke Rich's vendor. He seemed like a super nice guy, very chill guy. He had a wide selection of slabs again, but this time at least it's something that I can maybe afford. There's a lot more PSA 9s, some 8s. Of course, they also got some PSA 10s, but one thing I do notice about these kind of card shows, at least compared to the ones I typically go to here in Canada, is that there's definitely way more selection in the States. The caliber is just totally different. There's a lot of cards that I actually, really want to buy here. So a lot of these PSA 9 mid-era stuff, I think that's my wheelhouse. If I go to card shows here in Canada or in Vancouver, Canada, it's really hard to even find a vendor that sells those kind of cards and in the grade I want. However, in the States, I think, pretty much you can find whatever you're looking for. It just depends on the price tag that you want to pay. So I think that's definitely a huge bonus. The selection is just way better at these card shows. So the next booth we checked out was the Grading Gengar booth, and shout out to them. This was my first purchase at this convention. What really stood out to me was this Aerodactyl EX. Love these sort of silver borders. If you know me, here's a sort of closer look at it. Very clean copy. It was a 2003 Aerodactyl EX. It was like an E-Series card as well. So I ended up picking that up for around 260, I believe, USD, or I think I got it down to like maybe 230 USD. Super clean card. Here you can see, I was pretty happy. Got my first purchase in, and with a lot of these mid-era stuff going up in price, it's really hard to find like kind of good deals. I was happy that I think that was a reasonable deal for both sides. But yeah, so we kept looking for more sort of EX level X cards that were, I guess, reasonably priced. But you guys can see here, these tables had a lot of different Gold Stars, Prime, Mario, Luigi, Pikachu's, different Japanese exclusive cards. So definitely a huge selection. A lot of these vendors had a bunch of raw cards, but pretty high quality raw cards. Also a lot of the higher end PSA slabs as well. So I would have to say, these kind of international conventions, definitely the ceiling is higher in terms of the price point. There's a lot of quality cards here compared to the local vendors, which, I'm not throwing any shade, but I feel like, just the caliber is so different in these international conventions. And one booth I really, really wanted to check out was the Bulbasaur. You guys must have seen their vendor POV videos. I swear they pioneered those videos, but super engaging content that they put out. Love Dylan and his girlfriend or wife, I think, and his mom, I believe. They're super chill as well. They gave us these free beans or sprouts, I guess, that you can put on your head to look like a chikorita. So obviously my partner really liked that concept. It was fun for me as well, but it was just so cool to see Dylan in action. Again, huge fan of his channel, and yeah, we had a really good conversation about Gold Stars, EX, Level X. So he's a huge mid-era collector, just like myself. But I guess a subtle flex is that he previously commented on my channel or on my video before. So definitely, I think that was the highlight of my YouTube career. So it was really cool to get a picture with him. So I think that was like a highlight of my trip for sure. But that Gold Star Mewtwo really caught my eye. 8.5k though, that's a little steep, so I couldn't justify buying that card. Definitely on the radar. Another really cool vendor, shout out to New Bar Cards. So as shown here, these guys were really nice, easy to work with. I had some cards that I was looking to sell, and they gave me the best offer here, and they were super fair and sort of transparent with the whole deal. But more on that later. I'll show you guys what I sold. So I did look around before heading back to that vendor. I did ask around to see sort of what the best offers are. So, pro tip, if you are looking to sell a card at one of these shows, do ask around and then, try to get the best price for your card. Don't just go to the first vendor you see. So here we checked out another vendor, and you guys can see here there's a lot of, I guess, desirable modern cards shown here, a lot of PSA 10s, tag teams, alt arts, but what I really, really liked was that whole line of PSA 9 level X cards. Quite steep in prices again. I think just in general, a lot of these mid-era stuff went up. I was heavily debating about that Entei you see there. It's beautiful E-Series cards, but I went back to New Bar Cards, sold my Houndoom, Mega Houndoom PSA 10, as well as a PSA 9 Mewtwo V-Star to them for $950 or USD. So, huge shout out to them. Best offer that I got, and they were super transparent in how they sort of valued it. Their offer was better than any offer I got at my local card shows. So definitely really appreciate that deal if you are watching New Bar Cards, but highly doubt it. So yeah, checked out more vendors. There's just so many vendors here. I think we spent a solid 3-4 hours here, but I don't even think we covered like 20% of the show. But I'm trying to show you guys sort of the best highlights that I saw. A lot of just sort of these crazy, these double crisis cards. I think they're extremely hard to pull and grade, and those packs are also crazy expensive now. But alt arts are everywhere. You can literally find whatever you're looking for, you can probably find it at this card show. It's just so big, but I think definitely shop around, look for prices. They do actually fluctuate quite a bit. I do find if you try to go to the vendors that are slightly in the back of the show, the prices might be a little bit better. There might be less traffic there, so you might be able to get a little bit of a better deal. The other pro tip that I've heard being circulated around is do check out the booths near the end of the day or sort of near the end of the show, especially for sealed product. A lot of the vendors do not want to carry it back. Some of them, or a lot of them, actually flew here with those products, so obviously they would prefer to not have to bring it back. So you might be able to find some good deals that way. But just check out the vast amount of sort of these mid-era stuff. So I think those packs were some of the shortest printed ones. So those Deoxys packs, a lot of those EX packs. So I think definitely just seeing so many of them here makes it feel like, maybe they're not as rare as we think, but I think we're just, kind of spoiled here by the sheer amount of quality cards. But I really like this booth. Name's literally called Gold Star Collectibles, I think. And they had a lot of heat, obviously, as the name suggests. And as I mentioned, it's a bit overwhelming. There's just so many cards to look at, and most of them are actually super high quality as well. Do let me know what you guys saw. Maybe I missed it, or I probably missed it. What cards, did you have your eye on the show? Which ones would you have picked up? Really curious of what you guys think. This is just, this video is just me narrating, all the sort of cool cards that I see and that I really want to pick up. But I'm curious what my viewers think as well. What cards, would you have picked up? So I try to show you guys the prices if possible of all these cards, and hopefully gives you guys an idea of what to sort of expect, at least in the recent months if you were to come to one of these card shows. But you guys can see this venue is humongous. This is one of the rooms. We didn't even look at the other room because we ran out of time. I literally went during like the early afternoon, and we literally stayed until the closing time for this show. I think the other thing to note is that all the vendors that we checked out here, so all of these vendors that I'm mentioning in this video, they were all super nice vendors, great people, very transparent and easy to work with. So highly do recommend them. These vendors are very, they're friendly. I think a lot of people are a little bit intimidated in like actually shopping in person for Pokemon cards. But again, if you haven't been to a convention, or if you were debating about going to one of these bigger international conventions, highly recommend it. The caliber is, I think, no match for like your local card shows. So if you like local card shows, this would be like a sort of overstimulus or overstimulating experience, in my opinion, but in a good way. So we saw some rare pop series packs, and then we stopped by the tag booth. They were playing some guessing game, which was pretty interesting. But they got a lot of these tag cards on display from Van City CJ's personal collection, I believe. Shout out to them. They're one of our local stores here in Richmond, BC. So they're sort of affiliated with Tag, and they drove down as well. But check out all those gold stars. Those Umbreon gold stars. That's such a grail card for me. If you don't know, Umbreon gold star is also one of the more rare gold stars as well, just because you can only pull it from those pack series 5 packs, which are essentially unweighable. But yeah, so this was sort of like the layout of the card party event. You have some elite lounges, and to sort of close off the evening and the day, there was this sort of main event at the stage. So essentially here, Pat, Flynn, and Real Breaking Nate were the co-hosts. But this was more of a family-friendly event. A lot of the participants and kids were able to go up and open up some vintage packs. And yeah, so I think this was a very fun event. Definitely recommend you guys check it out. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe if you guys want to. And also feel free to check out my affiliate links in the description below. They lead to websites that I use and trust. Yeah, thank you guys so much again, and peace out.